sponsor me off a lion. All right, should be working now. What's going on, everybody? My name is Super and coconut maxing all day long. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's kind of pink. There we go. But so I'm basically gonna give you guys a bit of an update. I've been trying to post more consistently. Although I know this is kind of weird because this is like a second part to the video that I had, but it's just because I had so much technical difficulties. All right, so the camera moved a little bit, so I'll just see how this goes. So when we come to find peace in the midst of suffering, we should look at it like this. So there's one of my favorite passages in the Bible where when the disciples are out in a boat, Jesus goes to say, hey, I'll catch up with you guys. You guys are good to go. And so when that happens, the disciples are startled because they think they see a ghost, but it's actually Jesus. And so Jesus says, hey, don't be alarmed, don't be scared that it's me. One of the disciples says, hey, Jesus, if it's you, then, bring me out to walk on the water with you. And so Jesus says, here, grab my hand. And so Jesus takes one of the disciples, and so he is walking on water now. And so the winds start to kick up, and then this guy gets freaked out because, the waters start to rage a little bit. And so that's exactly how, we should look at life. It's going to look rough and it's going to look bumpy and it's not going to be perfect. And so once he starts focusing on the wind and the raging waters, he starts to sink. And so he cries out to Jesus. He says, Jesus, help me. And so Jesus is like, here, take my hand. And so then again, his disciple starts to float. And so we should really look at it like this, that every time that we cry out to Jesus with a sincere heart, when we decide to humble ourselves, he's going to be there to pick us up. God cares so much for us that he wants us to bring these things, these burdens, these anxious thoughts to him so he can set us free, so we can put peace in our hearts. So our daily lives are pretty busy. And so I feel like a lot of times we tend to forget the fact that we can come to God for whatever it is that we need. I know sometimes it feels like God isn't there, and we have this sense of guilt of like, oh my gosh, I strayed away, or I did this and I did that. And God is always willing to accept us back with open arms, regardless of where we've been or what we've done. And that's exactly what I wanted to outline in this video today, that no matter who we are, God's love isn't merited to, one or the other person. God is going to love us equally, and he cares for us equally. So yeah, I just felt like this week was kind of really, really off just because there was a lot of frustrations and a lot of things going on with school and family and stuff and whatnot. But yeah, I just decided, I'm like, you know what, this would be a perfect video to talk to you guys about. Right now I'm in between of recording a full PPL split, or if it's just gonna be like me talking to the camera. I think I'm gonna want to do like a mixture of both things, just because I really do enjoy talking about this. I think right now, okay, so actually this week as well, I forgot to mention, but I am doing like a resetting week. So I spent the whole 7 days eating 2,700 calories, and then I'm thinking about lowering it back to 2,100 just because I want to go back straight into my cut. I mean, as you guys saw in part one, I was taking a look in the mirror, and so I do look a whole lot different from when I was at my peak bulk, which was like 210, and I was massive, like as in fat. I feel like at a certain point in my bulk, I was just like, you know what, this is cool, because like I don't feel that fat, but at the same time, I'm building muscle, so it kind of made me feel like less like worrying about it. But then after I got to 210, I was just like, no, you know what? This is, I can barely fit in my own clothes right now. I gotta cut. So I've been cutting for the most part, but I think I'm gonna try to get, I'm still gonna try to get down to single digit. I really want to see what it looks like, just because all my life I've been overweight, and it'd be kind of crazy to see that. But yeah, if you guys do like this content, be sure to give it a like, comment down below if you want to see any more of this, and if you want to see daily coconut maxing videos. I took off the label because I don't know if I can show this on YouTube. I know that beforehand, when I was living for myself, I didn't really feel a whole lot of satisfaction, and a lot of the times I would do things to try and fill up a void in me. And so I would obviously distract myself with certain things or with certain people. But when I started to focus on God, I felt that slowly going away. I felt like I didn't need to go to the world for consolidation. And I know I talked about this in like my first video, the intro, about, Jesus and the Samaritan woman at the well. And if you haven't accepted Christ in your heart, I would want to invite you, because it makes life worth living for, like 1,000%. And I know thousands and like millions of other people can testify about the same thing. And it just really changes your perspective on life, and it makes you see things differently, things that you didn't see before, not in a sort of like, oh, judgmental way or saying, oh, you know, I can't do this or do that. But it mainly changes it in the fact that you no longer have to worry about how your life is going to be. You know, God has already paved the way. And so when we look at life and it has a lot of distractions and it looks rough and it looks patchy, again, we can rest assured that God has everything planned out, and all we have to do is just reach for Him. And so He gives us this opportunity, you know. Why would we not trust someone who knows us better than we know ourselves? He knows how many hairs are on your head. Why would we not choose to trust Him with our lives when He knows what is best for us? And so when we choose to do that, obviously He's going to bless us. Yeah, if you guys did like this content, be sure to give it a like, and eat more corn. Those of you who are already believers, read your Bible more, because I got to read mine too as well. There's some days where I just really don't want to read it, or I really don't have time. But when we choose to actually read it, we're going to get a whole lot more of it than if we didn't, and we let our laziness win. Sponsor me, Alpha Lion.